I mean, my view is that, and I've stated this before, is I like Premier Byrd's comment about we need 80,000 people in Bermuda. Now, I'm not saying 80,000 is the right number, but I'm saying that, you know, when people say what happened during the recession in Bermuda and why can't we get out of it, what happened essentially was that we lost 5,000 people, or whatever the right number is, that didn't return. So we lost people that were paying into the tax system. We lost people that were renting Bermudians' homes, eating in Bermuda-owned restaurants. And this, to me, is the biggest issue we have to deal with. So while it is important to broaden the tax base in Bermuda and have less dependence on payroll tax and import duties, I really believe that we have to have a discussion about having more people in Bermuda pay into our tax base. And you know, from that, you then ask yourself, okay, what's the value proposition to bring businesses here, and how do we make it easier for people to want to come to Bermuda? But I think if our current population is 62,000 people, and we expect that without adding more people to our economy, that we're going to be able to get ourselves out of the debt situation that we're in, I think we're just, our heads are in the sand.
It's all about math. It's purely math.
Well, the chicken and egg is that you do, in order for the economy to grow, you need more people. So it goes without saying that you're going to need to bring people in. I think the PLP used the term balanced work permit and residential policies. Yeah, the two. Getting people in from the outside, hopefully attracting more Bermudians back home, and then finding other ways for people to come here and invest in our economy. So now we've moved into the 60-40. Is the 60-40, has its day passed?
Well, apparently not.
There's some suggestion that...
You're talking 60-40, you're talking the ownership rules.
The ownership rules, yes. Was it, what was the original intention of 60-40, and what is the role of it today? It's my understanding that it was a way for the oligarchy to protect its interest.
That's what he refers to in a speech he made. I think that's what he refers to.
But if you're going to abolish 60-40, you've also got to look at what are some of the downsides. This economist at the JFK school at Harvard, Danny Roderick, talks about how globalization, as you become more deeply embedded in the global economy, that sort of exacerbates social cleavages. So I can't help but wonder, so if we abolish the 60-40 rule, that means capital coming into Bermuda, people that we've never seen before starting up businesses. What are some of the unintended consequences of having people that are obviously foreign running businesses on Front Street, on Reed Street, the political shifts that accompany that, and the inequality that may follow? You know, we've got to get used to change.
On the other hand, we've had a massive flight of capital due to the 60-40 rule, because it is impossible for foreign businesses to reinvest whatever they've made back into the country, unless you are unless you've had a special legislation passed, special bill passed that allows you to keep your profits, reinvest if you're, for example, if you're telecom or in the exempt companies. But all of that money, even the exempt companies, the insurance companies, it's going all back offshore.
My point is this: I think we need to have some conversations with the people of Bermuda. It's not enough to say, well, we're going to abolish or we're going to relax the 60-40 rule. There are some unintended possibilities. We saw a lot of pushback with the airport, but yet, you know, we're talking about, the Premier's mentioned an infrastructure fund,
That's right, yeah.
which is a nice way of saying public-private partnerships. Well, the airport was a little idea. If we're going to, in fact, rely on outsiders to fund our infrastructure, and are Bermudians ready for that? Do they understand what it means to have someone owning your infrastructure?
And especially under PPP, there's a big price to pay. John, what do you think about the 60-40 rule being relaxed?
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely am in favor of the discussion initially being had, like what are the risks, what are the opportunities, but my view is that in 2018, it has to be done away with in a measured basis. I just don't think that we have the luxury of being able to say that we want to protect local businesses the way that we could have before the recession hit. So I think it did, for better for worse, it protected local business for a long, long time. But in 2018, I really think we have to have a serious discussion about doing away with it and encouraging foreign capital to come to the island. And as I say, I think to get to 80,000 people, which the Premier has mentioned several times, it's hard to imagine that we can generate that much interest in people coming to the island without doing some things very different from the way that we have been doing them for many, many years. So whether it be 60-40, obviously immigration reform is a very sensitive issue.
That's ongoing as well.
But to say that we don't want to change, but yet we want things to improve, it's simply not going to happen.
Question of change management.
Absolutely. Yeah, but it's all in the communication. So I think I'm really encouraged by what the Premier has done in terms of throwing a number out there, and to me that's how you start the discussion, by saying we need more people. The discussion from here on is why do we need more people in Bermuda? So I think
And how?
and how.
It's scary.
Well,
It's scary
that's
to
a $6
people.
million question. I was going to ask you how.
It's scary.
Who knows?
I think it's
Yeah.
scary to people because it can fundamentally change the culture of the island, how we perceive ourselves, who we are, what we look like. All of that changes once you get a major influx of people into the island. However, there's no question, if we don't increase our population dramatically, we can't grow our economy. I think we also, and we've been talking about the 60-40 rule, abolishing it for years, decades. So I don't know that it has to be that measured anymore. We've done a ton of studies. There's a lot of reports written about it. The BMA has studied this inside and out. The law firms have all studied it and written reports. It had a place in the 1960s. In 2018, it doesn't have a place anymore in a global economy. All it is doing is stifling our economy.
Would you expect to see, well, you guys have talked about the conversation needs to start with the 60-40 rule. The Premier's brought it up already. Would you expect to see, would you be surprised to see him say on Friday, we're abolishing it?
I believe he will. I hope he will. I don't believe it. I don't know what he will. I'm just hoping that
What
he
I'm
will
saying
say
is,
that.
would it be the correct thing to do to announce that it's going to be abolished? Would it be the correct thing to do to consult about it?
I think there would be such chaos if he said that.
Said that,
I think
yeah.
the start is we need to seriously understand the issues around abolishing 60-40. So I think that's where the start is.
But John, we've been talking about it and studying it for 20 years. How many more years do we need to keep studying?
Well, I think the Bermuda populace has to be understanding of what that means. I don't think we're anywhere near that position yet. So
I think the Bermuda populace is a very smart populace, and I think if we take a little bit of time to talk to them and inform them, I think that they can grasp it. The problem is that we've been pretty bad at communicating, and we need to change that.